Hello everybody and welcome, I am Bricker Boom, and today is going to be a shocker. Today, we're going to see if I can beat the game Pokemon FireRed while only using an Electabuzz. I don't know why I started making these intros into puns, but I have no intention of stopping now. Anyway, after last week's Psyduck run, I wanted to hop back into a Pokemon challenge that would be a little bit different. Mostly, I just wanted to pick a Pokemon to start with that would be a perfect counter for Lorelei. Now, on the face of things, Electabuzz is a pretty good Pokemon with solid stats all around, except for physical defense. Electabuzz can be a solid physical or special attacker, depending on the situation, which is good because there's a good chance that we'll end up needing him for both. From a moves perspective, we have a pretty limited moveset when it comes to level up. From a TM perspective, well, it's not much better, but I think that between the two of them, we can at least figure out 4 moves that'll be beneficial at least one time or another. But for now, let's go ahead and hop into the rules. I can only use Electabuzz in battle, though I can and will use other Pokemon for HM use. I can't use items in battle, though items in between battle is totally fine. And lastly, I do allow rare candies to level up, though I do attempt every battle multiple times before going down that avenue. Sometimes it's bad RNG that gets in the way, sometimes it's a misclick on my part that loses the battle. To hop into the run, we're going to go ahead and give the rival Bulbasaur this time around. Given the fact that grass can resist electric moves, it'll likely be the hardest for us to face. Looking at our nature, we have a quiet nature, which increases special defense, but in turn decreases speed. Not the worst trade-off since it'll allow us to be a little bit tankier. To look at our ability, we have static, so they'll attack us with a move, get paralyzed, and then hopefully even with the decreased speed, we'll still be able to outspeed them and be able to tank their special attacks without any issue. Let's go ahead and take a look at the beginning lab rival battle. We have access to Quick Attack, Leer, and Thunder Punch from the get-go, and we basically just go with Quick Attack for this particular battle, and on the second move, Bulbasaur gets paralyzed. We do test damage with Thunder Punch, and I think due to our increased special, it does a bit more damage, but only time will tell as it evolves. We're in the medium fast growth rate, which isn't the worst, and I mean, it's basically right there in the middle. We go through the beginning game to complete a few things that we need to, fighting some wild Pokemon, and then we go to fight the rival. Given the fact that we have a fairly bulky Pokemon, I think that we can handle it. Pidgey is first, and we Thunder Punch to take it down in one shot. Next up is Bulbasaur, and we can use Thunder Punch for about a quarter as Bulbasaur growls at us. Thunder Punch takes it below half and paralyzes it as Tackle does a bit of damage. Another Thunder Punch takes it to red. We get taken to 20 HP ourselves, and then we can take it down. After that, we can make our way through Viridian Forest. Getting through the forest is actually no problem whatsoever, aside from a few stray poisonings. I think after we get the first gym, we shouldn't have a problem until the various Giovanni fights. You know what is a problem, though? Brock. We roll up to Brock at level 15, because that's how long it takes to get past the junior trainer. We only have the same 3 moves for a little while longer, and unfortunately, our powerful electric move won't affect it. While we're talking about it, I'm just going to show some footage here at the levels that we attempt this fight. We can usually get to Onyx, but where it takes us so long to get past Geodude, Onyx is usually able to take us down not too long after. To top it off, Geodude also has access to Defense Curl, so unless we get an astronomical amount of critical hits, we probably can't take it down. When we finally get to level 23, we're essentially just hoping for the best. We use Quick Attack and are basically foregoing using Leer since it usually uses Defense Curls quite a few times anyway. When Onyx comes out, we spend most of the time spamming Leer as best as we can as Onyx uses Rock Tomb. The good news is, we don't really have to worry about the speed drop since we have access to quick attacks, and at one point, for whatever reason, Onyx uses Bind and our static procs to paralyze it. After our setup, we swap over to Quick Attack and we can take it down with a few attacks and not a moment too soon, because we only have 4 HP left when we finally do take it down for a very, very close victory. Going to the route to the right, we begin taking out some of the trainers as best we can, leveling up here and there. I don't think the next gym is going to be any kind of problem if I'm being totally honest. The next gym is Misty. We're super effective against it, and on top of that, we had to level up a pretty decent way just to get past Brock. Along the way, we do make sure to go ahead and take the Dome Fossil. I just realized rock ground types are going to be a problem until we get to Celadon and grab Brick Break, so the Dark Cave is going to be awful. Anyway, Misty is pretty easy. Staryu and Starmie are both pretty simple one-shots to win the badge. I'm not surprised at that, but let's see if the rival is just as easy. Pidgeotto's first, and we open with Thunder Punch, taking it out in one shot. Next up is Rattata, and we continue with Thunder Punch, taking it out as well. Abra is out, but can't do much of anything, but we swap over to Swift to knock it out in one shot. Last up is Bulbasaur, and we take it to yellow with Swift as Poison Powder connects, and then we can take it out next turn, winning us another simple battle. After that, we can head to the route to the north, and rock types, even in this particular area, are proving to be a bit of a problem, but we can go ahead and make it through, talk to Bill, and head to the ship. After that, it's on to the SS, and we only really stop to make sure that we grab the few items that we need, heal up real quick, and then immediately find the rival to go ahead and see how that battle goes. Pidgeotto's first, and we open with Thunder Punch, taking it out in one shot. Next up is Raticate. We use Thunder Punch to take it out. After that, the biggest threat at the time with Kadabra is out, but it goes down to a Swift. And then finally, it's Ivysaur, and Swift takes it to half as Vine Whip does a little. And then we can take it down with another shot, winning the battle and letting us move on to the gym. After we cure the captain and get the trash can puzzle on our first try. So you know, things are going pretty well today. Surge time. Voltorb is first, and Thunder Punch takes it to red as it uses Screech, and then Surge heals up. We swap over to Swift, and that takes it to yellow before we can take it out. Pikachu is up next, and we use Swift, taking it out in one shot because Pikachu is horrible. Raichu is last, and Swift takes it to yellow as Raichu uses Thunder Wave. It does outspeed us now, but rather than attacking, it just uses Double Team, which we can bypass with Swift, hit it, take it down, and move on. With all that done and out of the way, we can go ahead and make our way through the next part of the game. As expected, the Dark Cave is going to be a bit of a problem for us. There are a lot of rock types in there, and we end up having to make a few trips back to the Poke Center. Swift doesn't do the most damage as much as we may want it to, but honestly, even if we have to restart a couple times, we're able to navigate this from beginning to end without any type of issue whatsoever. After that, we immediately make our way to Celadon, picking up Brick Break to make sure Giovanni doesn't absolutely mop the floor with us. Once he has Earthquake in the last gym, I'm sure we're going to run into troubles, but let's see how things go this first go-round. Giovanni first sends out Onix, and we open with Brick Break, taking it to yellow as Rock Throw does a bit of damage before we can take it down. Rhyhorn is out next, and we use Brick Break again, taking it to red. Fury Attack actually hits all 5 times, but we paralyze it in the meantime, which is fine and dandy, and we can take it out. Kangaskhan goes to a little below half and hits us hard with Mega Punch before we can take it out and win the battle. Also, I just wanted to point out with this particular sprite, Electabuzz's head kind of looks like a UFO, and it also looks like he doesn't have a hand. Anyway. Now we can go ahead and head to face Erika. Erika sends out Victory Bell, and we use Return, getting hit with Stun Spore, but we're able to take it out next turn. After that, it's Tangela as it uses Mega Drain, and it sets up Ingrain before going down. Vileplume is last, and we hit it hard with Return as Mega Drain heals it up. We did spend a few turns paralyzed, but we're able to take it down with only 29 HP remaining, and that wraps up the battle. We have one more battle before we go into the harder battles of this game. Overall, Electabuzz has done incredibly well with this run, despite the Brock portion of the game. Granted, part of the reasoning is the fact that we have to level up a lot early in the game just to get past Brock. However, much to our advantage, it also helps that we haven't had anything that we're weak against since then as well. Overall, I've been enjoying this run so far. My only wish is that Electabuzz had a bit more of a move pool, but for the most part, I can't really complain too much. Anyway, it's time that we head to the rival battle into the tower and see how things go. The rival first sends out Pidgeotto, and it opens with Quick Attack as we take it down with Thunder Punch. Gyarados is next, and it being 4 times weak to us is going to be huge, and it goes down with one shot. Growlithe is out, and immediately lowers our attack further, but we're still able to take it down with one more attack. Kadabra's out, and we use Return, taking it out in one shot as well. Last up is Ivysaur, and we use Return, taking it to not quite half, as Razor Leaf does a bit of damage. The next turn, we take it to red as Poison Powder connects, and then after that, we're able to take it out with enough HP to spare. With the rival out of the way, we have a little bit of travel. I'm admittedly unsure how the next of these battles is going to go. Koga has some pretty tanky mons. I don't think Sabrina is going to be too much of an issue, unless she gets the opportunity to set up. Blaine is kind of a toss-up, and Giovanni, well, Giovanni has access to Earthquake. I'm just getting flashbacks of my Jolteon run, which you should absolutely check out. Just understand that those were still some earlier videos and the editing was not as smooth. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves because we have some Safari Zone Scramble up ahead. We start things off by catching ourselves an Execute, and I think next time I'm going to grab Silph and see how water Pokemon go as we catch a Doduo. We capture another set of half-scrambled eggs, and then we catch another one. We make sure to go ahead and grab the Quick Claw, and then a Chansey runs from us. We grab the Gold Teeth, Silph, capturing an Nidoran male along the way. With plenty of steps remaining and not as many Safari Balls as normal, a Nidorina runs, and then so do some eggs. After that, we can catch a Rhyhorn, Paris, and another Chansey runs. Real talk, it took me a solid 15 minutes just to find one Chansey during my Pokemon Stadium moveset run that I did, and a solid 30 minutes just to catch one. Why am I finding them now? Because I don't need it. We grab a final Paris, and then that's that for this particular run, and it's time to go ahead and go pay Koga a visit. We can take Coughing down with Thunder Punch, and with Muck, we actually get a critical hit, which takes it down in one shot. The next Coughing goes down to Thunder Punch, and then lastly, Wheezing goes to Yellow, and then goes down to win us a second try victory. That went a lot smoother than I thought, though I'm pretty sure the crit against the Muck is the only reason that we were able to actually win. Either way, we're able to head to Silph Co, and then we grab the key, access to the bed, and then head to fight the rival. The rival starts with Pidgeot, and we get hit with Quick Attack and paralyze it, but Thunder Punch is able to take it down in one shot. Gyarados is next and lowers our attack, so we swap to Thunderbolt, taking it down in one blow. Next up is Growlithe, and Thunderbolt is able to take it down as well. Alakazam is out, and we swap to Return, doing a little over half as it sets up Calm Mind before we use another Return to take it down. Last up is Venusaur, and we use Return, taking it to Red due to a critical hit, as it only bothers using Sweet Scent before we can take it down with another Return. That was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, but again, you're not going to hear me complain about that. We do a quick heal up, and then after that, it's time to fight Giovanni. Giovanni starts in Nidorino, and we use Return, taking it out with a critical hit. Next up is Nidoqueen, and it poisons us right off the bat. We can take it out, though, with a few returns, though we're definitely well below half HP. When Kangaskhan comes out, we use Brick Break to take it to below half, and we only get hit with a Soft Rage in return before we can take it out. Last up is Rhyhorn, and we're able to thankfully take it down with a single Brick Break, with only 4 HP remaining due to the poison damage and the attacks that we had endured. This is going a lot easier than I thought it would be. Usually around this time in the game, we start finding ourselves running into a brick wall, but Electabuzz is proving to be pretty good at getting through this. Also, if you haven't yet, because I definitely didn't mention it earlier, make sure if you like this type of content to subscribe to the channel and maybe give the video a like. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we're also trying to boost our watch hours. As of right now, a lot of people that watch these videos still aren't subscribed to the channel, even if you are returning, but it would really help me out. Let's go ahead and see how we do against Sabrina. Sabrina starts with Kadabra, and we open with Return, taking it down in one shot. Mr. Mime is next, and we use Thunder Punch, nailing it with a critical hit and taking it down in one shot. Venomoth is out, and we use another Thunder Punch, which takes it to Red as Supersonic unfortunately lands, because if I use it, it's going to miss, but if the opponent uses it, it's going to hit every time. Sabrina heals up, and we, of course, smack ourselves in confusion. The next turn, we nail it with Thunder Punch to take it to a Sliver as Psybeam connects for a little bit of damage. Sabrina heals again, as we hit it down to Red again, and then we finally snap away from the confusion to take it out. Last up is Alakazam, and we use Return, taking it to a Sliver as Alakazam sets up Calm Mind before we take it down to win the battle, and of course, the badge. We set sail for the Grand Line, and in under 1,000 episodes, we can go ahead and make it to Cinnabar, going through the Burnt Mansion, and then it's time we fight Blaine. Growlithe is up first, so we use Thunderbolt, taking it out in one shot. Next up is Ponyta, and we repeat the process with it, knocking it out with a critical hit that I don't think we needed. Rapidash is out, and we use Thunderbolt to take it to Red as Fire Blast does some solid damage as Blaine heals up. Thunderbolt then gets a high roll on the damage and knocks it out. Finally, it's Arcanine, and we use Thunderbolt, taking it to yellow as Fire Blast takes us to 30 HP, but before we finish it off, for a pretty narrow victory. Also, because I made the One Piece joke, can we also just talk about the fact that the 4Kids rap version is not nearly as bad as everybody says it is? Anyway, prepping for the Giovanni fight, we make sure to fight our way through the gym, knowing that he will wreck us without a second thought. We want to go ahead and gain a couple levels. At level 56, we can take Rhyhorn down to below half as Scary Face connects to lower our speed before we take it down. Dugtrio hits us with Slash and gets paralyzed as we use Return, taking it down. Nidoqueen is out and outspeeds us and hits really hard with Earthquake. We can take it to about half as we get hit with Earthquake with the next attack and go down. In the long line of attempts that we have, this is pretty standard for every attempt. For a move that apparently only has a 90% accuracy in this game, it's doing a real good job at never missing. This takes us all the way to level 70 before we even stand a chance, and I had the Quick Claw attached the entire time, just trying to outspeed. At this level, we could take Rhyhorn down with a single Brick Break, and in the next turn we can take Dugtrio down with a Return. As Nidoqueen comes out, we use Return to take it to red, as Earthquake is still dealing really good damage. Giovanni spends a few turns healing up, and we unfortunately get poisoned. Giovanni swaps over to Rhyhorn, as we deal about a quarter damage with Return, before swapping to Brick Break to take it down. The injured Nidoqueen comes out, and we can finish it off, and then Nidoking comes out, as we hit it with Return, knocking it out in one shot with only 7 HP left. I did this battle at this level 10 times. The only reason that we won is because of the random swap to Rhyhorn, because even at this level, because it's a little bit higher of a level, we weren't able to knock it out in one shot, so we were finally able to pass just because he switched out. The Giovanni fight, though, was about as difficult as I imagined, though I am surprised we needed to level up that much. I can only hope that the rival fight goes a little bit smoother than that, but after a quick heal up, there's only one way to find out. Pidgeotto's up first and hits with a critical hit quick attack, and we take it down with Thunder Punch. Rhyhorn is out, and we swap over to Brick Break, taking it out, though I'm not sure if the critical hit mattered. Gyarados is next up, and we swap over to Thunderbolt, taking it down with a single shot. Growlithe is out, and we use another Thunderbolt to take it down. Alakazam is up, and we use Return, taking it just below half, as it only sets up Calm Mind before we can take it down with another Return. Venusaur is the last Pokemon, and we use Return for about a fifth of damage as Razor Leaf connects. We can take it to right around half, as it sets up Growth, and then we swap to Thunder Punch just to test damage, as we take it to red. And it uses Synthesis. So, from here, it's a lot of back and forth because it just keeps using Synthesis. It occasionally attacks, but it spends more time trying to stay healthy than anything else. Eventually, we paralyze it, which pays off immediately, and then we get a critical hit on our next attack, which takes it down and wins the battle. Now, we can go through Victory Road and do some shopping, and then it's time to go into the Elite Four. I'm not entirely sure how the following battles are going to go, but on screen right now is going to be a quick look at our stats. Our special attack is jacked, and our attack isn't too far behind it. Honestly, we've used a lot worse in prior runs, so this should be pretty alright. Time to go ahead and fight Lorelei, and I am excited. Dugong is up first, and we open with Thunderbolt, taking it down in one shot. Next up is Cloyster, who has pretty awful special, but we can still take it down with a couple Thunder Punches. We continue with that move with Slowbro, knocking it out in one shot. Lapras is out, and we swap back to Thunderbolt, taking it down in one blow. Finally, it's Jinx, and we swap to Return, taking it to a Sliver. Oh, and it puts us to sleep. Not good. Lorelei heals up and uses Attract as we paralyze the Jinx. It takes a little while to wake up, and we basically have to repeat the process of getting put to sleep, waking up, attacking, though we only have 16 HP when we finally take it down, basically defying the odds of actually attacking. I didn't think it was going to be that close, but now that the battle's over, I'm kind of curious if Thunderbolt would have knocked it out in one shot. Next up is Bruno, and he starts with Onix as we use Brick Break, taking it below half. Rock Tomb connects and lowers our speed as we use Brick Break to knock it out. There's another Onyx out, and we use Brick Break, critting it and knocking it out. Hitmonchan is out, and we use Thunderbolt, knocking it out with a second critical hit. Hitmonlee is up to bat, and we can take it to a sliver, getting hit with Mega Kick. Thunderbolt then gets a high roll on the damage and knocks it out. Machamp is his last Pokemon, and we take it to Red as it uses Scary Face, and the berry takes it out of healing range. Cross Chop still hits for pretty solid damage, but thankfully it doesn't crit, and that lets us take it out with one more attack. Agatha time. Gengar is first, and we use Thunderbolt, knocking it out in one shot. Next up is Golbat, and we swap to Thunder Punch, taking it out in one move as well. Arbok is out, and it's a bit scarier than some of the other Mons, and we take it to a sliver. Sludge hits for pretty surprising damage, and Thunder Punch takes it to yellow before we can take it out. Gengar is out, and we use Thunder Punch again, hitting it with a crit to take it out. Last but not least is Haunter, and it's also a one-shot with Thunderbolt, letting us win yet another simple Elite Four victory. 3 down and 2 fights to go. Let's do this. Lance opens up with Gyarados, and we hit with Thunder Punch, knocking it out in one blow. Dragonair is up, and we swap over to Thunder Punch, taking it to not quite half as it sets up Safeguard. We use Return, knocking it to a sliver as it uses Hyper Beam for solid damage, and we knock it out. With the next Dragonair, we swap to Thunderbolt to rely on Special, and then a crit takes it down in one shot. Dragonite is up, and we take it below half as Outrage hits for really good damage, and we paralyze it, the berry taking it to right about half, and then we can take it down next turn. Last up is Aerodactyl, and we nail it with a Thunderbolt, taking it down for a pretty unexpected first try victory. Now, as we go to the rival, he opens up with Pidgeot as we use Thunderbolt, taking it down in one hit. Next up is Rhydon, and we use Brick Break to take it to not quite half as Scary Face, of course, connects. Next turn, we use Brick Break again, taking it to a sliver as Scary Face connects again. It gets healed up, and we get Earthquake to Red, then take it down, but then when the Alakazam is out, it's able to wreck us immediately. We try this a bunch of different ways, testing damage with Return, trying to mess with the damage ranges, but ultimately, unless Scary Face happens to miss 3 or 4 times, and then in that case it'll probably just use Earthquake, we're not able to get past this without leveling up. Unfortunately, unless we're able to take down the Rhydon quicker, we're not going to be able to do much, and before anyone asks, I still have the Quick Claw equipped. Unfortunately, with no surefire way of being able to predict or make the Quick Claw activate turn after turn, we just keep going down, because even if it doesn't use a Scary Face, then it just uses Earthquake. At level 80, we can take Pidgeot down in one shot, and then with Rhydon, we take it to half. Scary Face connects as always, but then it goes down. With Alakazam, despite normally relying on physical moves, we actually use Thunderbolt, and that's enough to knock it out. Gyarados is next, and we use Thunderbolt again, knocking it out in one shot, though it does get a Hydro Pump off beforehand. With Arcanine, it hits us for pretty decent damage with Flamethrower, before it too goes down to Thunderbolt. With Venusaur, we can take it to Red, as it begins setting up Solar Beam, but with no way for it to actually heal, we can take it down to win the battle and the run. I had a lot of fun with that particular run, especially since I've never been able to use one in the past. For next week's challenge, if I can finish it in time, though it wasn't the game that it was introduced in, I'm going to be attempting to beat Pokemon FireRed with a single Ralts. I do enjoy Pokemon Emerald, but given how many Dark types are rampant in the game, I think I'm going to need a little bit more time to actually prep that run. If you haven't yet, you should join the Discord, or you can hit me up on Twitter, or even go with the comments below to give me ideas for other challenge runs. Either way though, if you like the video, even if you didn't like the video, hit the like and subscribe button, because it really does help me out. And until next time everybody, peace out!